Hey, Decathlon Gamer, welcome back to PCM22. It's Classics Puncher, and this is episode 15. I have two big things about to happen. First off, contract period negotiations open up. Not for signing the contract, but essentially the dossier equivalent from the career mode, as in we're speaking with teams to develop interest. This, of course, is that key moment where we find out what is the most reputable team that wants to sign us. And it looks like we are going to be moving on, but only just to a team of very similar stature to what we have. We're going to move up one spot from Total Energies to X for next season. Okay, that should provide something a little different for us going forward. We'll put our contacts of interest in there. We don't have a ton of them right now. Could be problematic for getting that contract for sure. Of course, putting all of our points in there should help, but it's going to take some results to get interest. I'm not sure we're going to get results at this stage. In fact, I've come to the second major thing, and that second major thing being I do not have to be the youngest rider ever to be gaining regular victories, as in playing every single stage to go out and play the teammate role again and again and again and again, finding it impossible to get results because we're spending all of that energy and then we're getting 4 XP at the end or 6 XP at the end, and just inching our way level to level, as opposed to actually being a competitive leader who's going out and leading the team and competing, which is much more interesting to watch. 15 episodes into the series, we should be the leader already. And in every year past, under normal circumstances, that's where we would be. We wouldn't be at a team this size, which is why we would be the leader. Now, actually, usually by year 2, I am into Continental Pro most years. We're either a very large Continental team or a low Continental Pro team serving as leader. But because we've been the domestique, our growth rate has been slower because we get less XP without playing that leader role, without getting results, even if it's just top 10s early on. Competing for those still results in a lot more XP than what we get right now. Even if we compete for a top 10, it's not our role, and therefore we're still getting small returns. Anyway, I think you've already come to grips with that by now, and if you're still here, that's awesome, because the pacing of this series has been slower than any other Pro Cyclist series that I've had as a result. Now, of course, it was the nature of the series. It was what was picked. It was what we decided to do. Stick with the best team. Well, that is presenting a proper challenge to us, isn't it? It is totally changing the ballgame. It's changing the setup. It's changing the growth pattern of Decathlon Gamer, the writer. So here is my short-term solution to stalling away for 15 XP and 2 episodes of a stage race. The quick sim button, usually I save that for later seasons in Pro Cyclist mode. Once you hit that leadership status, once you are dominating the tiny little bit of XP you're going to get there with the huge level ups that, takes a long time to complete that. Right, to get the 300 points, to get the 800 points for one level, that 6 points doesn't make the difference, right? And being the leader in the World Tour and getting 100 points a race for going out and doing a good race obviously moves that bar a lot further along. We need to be racing the right type of races more often than not. So we're going to start picking our battles a bit, meaning I'm not going to do every race. I am not going to continue down that path of nothingness for the next 3 seasons, which means my growth rate is going to slow down even more. But right now, the primary way that I'm getting XP is not racing. Primary way I'm getting XP, and it's why we spent our first 3 skill points on it, is the monthly turnover. So that monthly turnover got us to level 9. That monthly turnover is going to keep us pushing along for a little bit longer. Our calendar sucks this year. We spent points to make it a little bit better, and then we still went out there and had a difficult go because the team was all like, oh, you have to win the race, and everybody on every other team was like, oh, he's the favorite to win the race, which I wasn't really. I was almost on par with a few other riders, and I was one of the favorites, but there was no way that I was going to be a dominant force with 1 career victory and just about level with 5 other favorites. But when all 5 of those favorites and all of their teams and all the other teams combine their efforts to stop me with a very weak team in that particular race in support, I finished second. Badass. And I got, what was it, like 6 XP in the race because didn't win. It's gonna be a process, and I've come to terms with that now, and here's how we're gonna approach that. That quick sim, that button's my friend. I'm gonna miss out on some XP, but like I said, that's not the primary way we're getting XP right now anyway. Does that mean I'm gonna be a little bit older by the time we actually get to that competitive stage? You gotta do what you gotta do though, right? So let's move on. Good news, bad news. Let's start with the good news. Peter Sagan sits 2nd overall in this race. 5th on the list of favorites for today's stage. I've bypassed 2 sprint stages where nothing was going to happen. We weren't going to do anything. We weren't going to collect XP. Sagan being in 2nd would have gotten us a little bit, but more than the normal, but it still would have been a small amount. So we've saved some time. And the good news also is that I'm the leader. Other than Sagan, who's got free reign to go on his own. Now here's the bad news. First, Sagan, 5th on the list of favorites. Obvious choice for leader. I didn't even make the list of top 10 favorites. He should be the team leader, and I should have the free reign to do whatever and try to get a result. But also in that bad news, they want me to win the stage. I'm supposed to win this stage. I'm not even on the list. I'm not even on the short list of 10 favorite riders at all, and I'm supposed to win the stage. So now, not winning the stage, even if I finish in the top 5 or even if I finish on the podium, is going to go down as a failure. Anything short of winning is going to be a failure today, which means I'm not going to be collecting the XP. Oh, let's also add to the bad news. My expected race day condition of 0, 99% fitness, 0 fatigue, no issues. Really was set for a neutral 0, even though it is raining. Was properly set for a 0. I end up on a -4 race day condition. There's no way, no how that I will be winning today. You can see how much I'm struggling right now. Let's add to that list of complications. I'm not the only one who ended up with a bad draw today. In fact, the team, the expected net as a team was a +7. Couple +2s, a +3 for Sagan, and 0s for everybody else. But if you do the math, we've got a -14 net today. Much short of the +7 expected. That's a minus. What is it? Yeah. That is a huge negative draw. It's a -21 compared to what it was supposed to be. And you divide that out by 6 riders, and we're looking at a 3.5 negative average for the team for the draw today. absolutely just brutal. Okay, the guy who was protecting me is already gone. I'm not winning today. I'm off the pace, drifting backwards to save energy, and it's not working out too well on that part, as I'm still drifting back even here just on the false flat at the top of this little climb, and still going backwards, still draining energy and running quite low on that. And yeah, the only guy who had the positive race day condition today is the first one out the back, meaning it was the weakest rider. So shit luck. Excuse my language. I don't like to cuss very often, but only when really, really well earned. And PCM, you earned it this time. It's part of the game. It will happen. Today will not be our day. Not necessarily mad at the game, but my oh my, have you done me dirty. Last stage, the final stage. It's another punchy one. It's another opportunity. It's another opportunity for the game to do me dirty, but it's also another opportunity for the game to right the wrongs. Alright, through that sprint point, coming up on the end, 25k to go, and yeah, I'm just I am beyond saving right now. Kalmajan, help, please. We're out of energy. Sagan, oh gosh, Sagan, don't help me. You're second overall. Go do your own thing. Go do your own thing. I'm not going to ruin your race. Realistically, Kalmajan should be protecting Sagan, not the other way around. I'm hopeless. We're about to hit that same climb again, and I'm not making it another time. I have no energy at this point. That's it. Sagan's not going to make it either. I'm out the back. Race done. We are considered the peloton, apparently because I'm here. Apparently, I'm the favorite, even though I was nowhere near the favorites list. My team thinks I should win. That's all it takes. That's all it takes. And then it turns the entire field against you. Sagan is further ahead of us, but he's only in the next group up the road. So that's, you know, there's still 20 riders ahead of them. Something along those lines. As Kalmajan and I, a little bit off pace here. Oh, that is over the top of the final one, so let's go ahead and push the tempo a bit more. Not that it matters. I was only 20 seconds off the lead, so if we can do something. Mezgec, who already led the race, takes the stage win. 1.3, go ahead and attack from here. See if I can make up a little bit of time. Yeah, game really done me dirty today. Because not only did my team decide that I was a favorite, so did the field. Wasn't even on the top 10 list. And then of course the draw. Not just for me, but for my teammates. Can't have much of a worse day than that. Literally in terms of the draw, there was only 1 point worse. And the overall team certainly couldn't have had... it might have been the worst draw I've ever seen. Certainly close to it. Team as a whole. I mean, an average minus 3.5 point per team member. Rough. So we're into the final stage, and things aren't a lot better today than they were. One team still thinks that I need to go on and win the stage. So anything less will give us virtually no XP, and needless to say, we had 0 XP for yesterday. One little tiny piece of good news, at least, is that this time I actually did make the list of favorites. Barely. I was on the bottom of the list. So at least there's a chance that we could pull it off. I do have the full team at my disposal, including Sagan, who himself is out of contention GC-wise. So I don't feel as bad about utilizing him or the rest of the team under these circumstances as we begin our circuit. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, looks like about 7 laps on the circuit. Before we finish, we'll see the finish line along here somewhere. Like right about there. Looks like we finish on the downhill on the descent. Is that where we started the race? Oh no, it does finish right there. You just can't see it on the map. That last little punchy climb. Well, anyway, more bad news though. We still did not have a good draw. Nothing like yesterday at all. +7 was still the expected for the team. And, you know, we've made a huge discovery in this race. QAnon is a real thing. Look, he's the rider protecting me. Certainly looks like QAnon, doesn't it? Anyway. So, yeah, there's that. He's the expected +2. Sagan's the expected +3. So those were the only positive race day conditions. Whoever the other +2 was clearly didn't get it. I still end up on a negative race day condition, but at least it's a -1. And actually, it's fairly irrelevant. A -1 to Barrador, a -1 to downhill, +1 on acceleration. So the 99% fitness pretty much negating whatever the impact was. But even if I had the 0, I would have had some positives in here. A couple anyway. There would have been a little bit more. So there has been at least a couple attribute points that would have had a +1 that were negated by our -1 and just are showing up blank here. So it still hurts. Just doesn't hurt like yesterday. Doesn't hurt as bad as yesterday. But the team still only ended up with a +2 out of an expected +7. So the net for the team is still a -5. It's still essentially a -1 draw. Yesterday was the final day of a fitness peak, which is a +1, negating a -1. I really should have had a 0 yesterday. It was not like the weather was bad, therefore you're going to have a -1, and we just ended up drawing a bit lower. No. We really should have had the 0. Fitness peak's done now, though. So today I'm not as surprised to see a -1 show up in this foul weather. 79, 78 left of the peloton and shrinking already. And unlike yesterday, looking pretty strong. Now, I have used up some teammates here, and we have 30k left. We need to get some water one final time before the end of this race, because it's about to hit desperation mode. See some other teams following suit. The Bear handling the task for now. He is riding for Sagan. I have Sagan being protected. I have Kalmajan being protected, and myself. So we'll have three leaders for the final stages of this race, and I definitely need to start upping the effort of our 3 leaders to help hold position as the race is intensifying right now. Pace has really picked up. Back up to 70 in the peloton, by the way. We're down to, which is it? I don't remember. Come on. And of course, I'm the one who's back here. I am only at 65 mountain, so I can see why I'm drifting. I do like how this year, they didn't do nothing when it came to Pro Cyclist mode. I had initially thought that it was a literal 0 improvement season, but it's not. What we find ourselves with here is, as QAnon's going out, and yes, I will call him that from now on, because, why not? Follow Sagan up on his wheel. Use a little bit of energy here to cover that gap, but make sure I'm not drifting off back. We're down to 43. Lebert has a little bit of energy, so we're gonna. It's already 9.7k. So that was the penultimate climb. Well, not the penultimate climb. You have the double because you finish on that ascent. But we will follow Sagan. We will follow Calmajon, and then Cabot's at the front. So Lebert will lead us up towards where Cabot is. And let's go ahead and follow here for now. Cabot's going to hold that position as we make our way on up through the field. Okay, now Cabot can push forward. Or he can sit put in Lebert can push forward. And he's going to have to push forward hard because we need to get in a position sooner rather than later. It is 2 climbs, not 1, but he is way too far back, and Jumbo Visma rider making life difficult on us, trying to get through here. Everybody is ultimately getting through as we are reaching that climb here shortly. Lebert using up his energy to get us up there. That was his task, and he has completed it well. 4K to go. I'm going to go ahead and use my gel. And we're going to move on to Cabot. Not at a 99, though. It started at 93. 47 left. Penultimate climb, so we don't need to do it all right here. Use the teammates. Negate any other's potential attack. Okay, now Cabot can push a little harder as we are at the top. Now that we're onto the stronger guys. Again, you back off a little bit and set up the descent. Now it's 35 left. Don't have much red bar here. Sagan's looking better. He's got the +2. I've got the -1. I think he's got the more realistic chance. And it's 700 meters. So Calmajon sprint. Sagan sprint. Can he get a top 3? I'm just following because I just don't have it today. Sagan almost to the line. Groupon FDJ looking like 1, 2, 3, but Sagan does, and the Jumbo Visma rider. How? Okay, that was, you know, is the guy like 4 feet tall? Because otherwise, there is no way that he was anywhere near Sagan at that finish line. It was Kuhn. It was Mataway who we overtook. I got 6th on the stage following. But yeah, Vader, I don't know how he overtook Sagan because level road and Sagan is clearly a full head ahead of Vader at the line. Is Sagan 7 feet tall and Vader's 4 feet tall? That's the only way that makes any sense, other than the bike throw, which you don't really see in this game properly. Anyway, he does get on the podium here today. I come up a little short. That was his positive race day condition, my negative race day condition. I told you last stage he should have been the leader anyway. He's faster. He's as punchy. And he had a positive race day condition. And a fitness peak and an objective. I wouldn't mind being in his role, the number 2 guy, the sport rider, the puncher who could go for the stage, but, you know, breakaway, something. Anyway. Game's being weird. Still no points. We do get a podium on the stage, but I got 6th, so that's bad. I wasn't in the breakaway, so that was bad. Sagan's position didn't matter because they wanted me to win the stage, so him finishing on the podium is still bad. So another race gone by, 0 points. That's why we're making this change, right? Stop going into bad races. That shouldn't have been a bad race, but team made it bad when they assumed that I was the winner when 2 stages in a row I was either not on the list at all or just barely making the list of favorites. That's not winner category. That's top 10, which we did. That would have been nice. And we would have been rewarded for Sagan finishing on the podium. It is what it is. You got to do what you got to do. One day, punchy classic. Legitimate chance to be a contender. Team wants me on the podium, which is a bit of a stretch. But at least it gives us a little bit of a better chance. I do have leader, but Pierre Latour, who's pretty much equal with me in terms of quality, he gets the status that I would probably appreciate. The solo ride, maybe aim for top 10. That's what he's got. I've got higher expectations, even though we are similar. But at least I get the team support. 12 riders in the break, and they still have more than a minute with 43k to go, but it looks like they will not last on their own. A couple guys working on their own at the front, and then I've got only one quality rider to support since Latour is on his own, and that's Dubé. Oss might be, but he's not looking great. For whatever reason, trend continues, -2. Net expected for the team was a +2. So we have a -4 on our outcome race day condition. We had that stretch where for 2 to 3 episodes there, it was negative over and over and over again. I believe it was last episode where things neutralized, went better, stabilized a bit, but it wasn't positive. There was no net positive. There was just a couple decent days, a couple bad days, and it was neutral, if I remember correctly. I could be wrong on that. It's been a week since I recorded for this series, but here we are now, as we are seeing a little bit of a push. 4 guys trying to go clear to win the stage right now, 25k to go, and bridging that gap to that front 12 and giving them a little more firepower as this field starts to split. And our group has also split, so there you go. But anyway, Dubé, get up here. Come on, buddy. I didn't up his effort. And the bear, okay, protecting me. Good. Another acceleration coming here. I do need this support. Come on, Dubé. Let's get up here. Those guys are going to go off and win this thing if there is not a response. There is a response in the field, though. That is a front 12 +1 with a slight advantage. +12 have already been caught. Again, 5 riders escaping. But again, I think there's plenty of firepower to pull it back into the final climbs. So what we have here is we had 3 support lead up, longer, more gradual climbs before you have 2 steep, short climbs. 1k, still only 6.6%, and half a k at 8%, maxing out at 10.8 on the way to the finish line. That's 5 riders off front, 29 chasing. Lebert is done. Dubé, well, you don't want to take over here. Let him follow me for now. He and I both recovering. Lebert also actually recovering ever so slightly right now. And Latour is going to get water. Really? Not necessary, buddy. 11k to go. I was fine. Don't need a full water bottle on the way to the finish line anyway. Alright, 9.8. We need to think about position a little bit. Dubé with his +3, looking pretty strong. And I -1. Again, identical to what I had on the last stage. 4 riders attacking, and this is just very continuous right now. Okay, the bear is done. Need to get on to Dubé. Easing his way forward. It's 2 climbs. So I'd like Dubé to kind of work hard through the first to keep us near the front, and then set me up to attack on the second. We're seeing a lot of punchers attacking, which is going to give us a better chance because they are expending a ton of energy. Down to 33 and nobody off the front. This is what we wanted, and here's that little hill. Thibaut Pinot trying to push, trying to attack. Now this is using up a little bit of red bar for me, down to 21. But a little bit of recovery on the descent. Okay, so he's going to attack, and I'm going to follow, and he's setting that up, and it's a front four. And it's 2K. Dubé, follow, please. Don't steal the win from me. Still sprinting for the line. We have a little gap, but the riders behind are coming. But we've done it. Second career victory. And it's a 1-2. Dubé. Nice setup on that one. Pinot gets third. We win at the right time. Right result. And for once, the team wasn't like, oh, you got to win this thing. It was top 3 objective, and we only exceeded that ever so slightly, so it's still not going to be a huge haul of XP. It's like they're never giving me a chance to grow. They're just like, you're either supporter or you got to go win. Support or win. Support or win. No in between. Makes it really hard to pick up a surprise result that comes with 80 or 100 XP. But we got the win. What am I mad about? Should be happy. I'm happy. That's going to do it for this episode, though. I'm Decathlon Gamer. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Have a good one. Be safe out there. Bye for now.